So we moved west and we never looked back. In fact, we opened our very own city here inside of LA. Technically, this is Universal City, California. We have our own zip code, 91608, and we have certain city amenities in order to make our city function. Things like a real fire station. You'll see that conveniently coming up here on your right-hand side. This is not a movie set. This is a real LA County fire station, Fire Station 51. If you watch the NBC television series Chicago Fire, they work out of a station numbered 51. It's a tribute to the station that is right here on our lot. So we are a real city, but we're different than the city that you might be from. For one, we don't have real residents, okay? Nobody technically lives here. We have park guests and we have employees just for the day, so there's no real neighborhoods or homes. Instead, we have things like the front line. We have sound stages, which are big warehouse buildings. We can construct any type of interior scene that we need to inside, whether it's a talk show set, game show set. We can build any type of interior indoor scene. And we have a total of 35 sound stages on our property alone, so we can film a whole bunch of indoor scenes all at the same time. You're going to see a soundstage here on your left, Soundstage 12. It's actually been home to the singing competition The Voice in years past. Stage 12 has also been used for some of the famous movie scenes you'll see on your screens now.
Despicable meme thing.
As soon as one of these productions is done filming, they remove their specific sets and they'll leave the stage blank and available so the next production can come in and build whatever they might need in the future. You're looking at your screens right now. That is what the inside of a soundstage looks like in between productions. There is nothing inside. That stage is blank. It's ready to go for any sort of set to be built. So we do film a lot of our NBC shows, Universal movies. We're a big rental facility, so anyone is welcome to come film. We do film a lot of our own productions. That includes Peacock, the streaming service. That's part of the family as well. They film a Peacock show here on our left inside of stages 7 and 8, a show called Bel-Air. It is a revival, a retelling of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air that starred Will Smith. Here are two current stars of the show to talk about it.
You just got me water when you get the is you put egg on the cheese. You put cheese on the eggs and on the cheese. That's right. Whoa, how many seats do you think are in there? No, it's gotta be a lot. Yeah. You could probably fit the whole Bel-Air cast and crew in there. We gotta get one of these for the mansion. For sure. You're lucky for y'all. The Bates Family Mansion lives right here on the Universal lot. Right. Some of Bel-Air's most pivotal scenes have been filmed right here. Jabari, what have been your most memorable moments? Oh, I don't know. There's so many to choose from. I love
some of these interior sets they're talking about. They all filmed here on the studio lot. Bel-Air utilizes stages 7, 8, and 14, which we are passing on our left-hand side now. Those three stages are dedicated permanently to the show Bel-Air for their filming. It's a permanent series, simply meaning that they film so often they need a regular location to build all of these different interior sets. So 7, 8, and 14 are dedicated to the show Bel-Air, to the series. They're in between seasons 2 and 3 right now. The first two seasons are available to stream on Peacock. So we can have any type of interior set built. Like I'm saying, we can have shows that are dramas, we can have talk shows, we can have game show sets. Jimmy Fallon films a show here on our lot called That's My Jam. That means he works on both coasts. Sometimes he's in New York filming The Tonight Show, sometimes he's here at Universal working on other NBC projects. We've got a Peacock show that films on our right in stages 18 and 19 called Killing It. Stars Craig Robinson. You might know him from The Office. That show is filming here on our studio lot, season 2. Hey, I see a celebrity on our left. You see Ted, the teddy bear? Yeah, you might recognize him from his movies, Ted and Ted 2. Oh, the kids know Ted. That's fantastic.
Yeah, that's the homie right there.
Ted is returning to Peacock in the near future. He is going to be returning as a streaming series. That TV series, Ted, will be a prequel to the 2 movies. Check it out on Peacock soon. The first season has been filming on the studio lot. Might show you a location or two later that Ted, the streaming series, has been using. The front lot is definitely where a lot of filming takes place. This is also where office work happens. Pre-production work, post-production work. We have offices here on your left-hand side. Those little bungalows, they serve as such for different writers, directors, producers. Over here is where you'd find the home of Illumination Entertainment. They make animated movies for us, like the new Super Mario Brothers movie that's been in theaters. There's the office of the late Mr. Alfred Hitchcock. He used to work in Bungalow 5195. They have his famous silhouette still painted on the outside next to the doorway. We're going to be hitting our back lot soon. John's going to be driving us through some of our different exterior sets. We'll show you how we can go anywhere in the world here in a few moments. We're here in the front lot still. 2 more sound stages before we leave the front lot behind. These are state-of-the-art sound stages on our left. They're in use by 2 different NBC shows right now. One of the shows is George Lopez's new show. He's on NBC with a series called Lopez vs. Lopez. It co-stars his real-life daughter. That show films on the left-hand side of the building, on the far stage from us now. The stage that's closer to us, stage 26, it's in use for a series called American Auto. It's on NBC. It's based around a fictional Detroit car company. It's in its 2nd season. So we've got a lot of NBC shows, Peacock series that film on our lot, but we can film anything if need be, including exterior scenes. You're getting a glimpse of our back lot here on the right-hand side. This is all part of our metropolitan area, where we can recreate any big city that we might need to film in. Specifically on your right, you're going to see Brownstone Street, and see if you can recognize this street from a scene that I'll play from the movie Bruce Almighty.
Raise the door! I'm in the shower! Like that, outside good.
There it is.
Like that, outside good.
So we reuse these locations on our back lot over and over and over again. We do try to change the looks of the sets, but we don't change them all that much out here. We change them ever so slightly, just enough, so hopefully you don't recognize them between different movies or TV shows. You know, some areas are very recognizable. Some areas are so iconic, it's hard to cover up what they have been used for before. Like this area here that's on our left-hand side. Might be the most recognizable spot on our tour today. We call it Courthouse Square. You would know it as Hill Valley from the Back to the Future trilogy. This is 3 different generations of Hill Valley on our left. 1955, 1985, even the distant futuristic year of 2015. It was all done right here on our left. That is the same courthouse building that you're looking at that was technically used for Back to the Future. It looks different now than it did back then. That's done on purpose. You're actually seeing older examples on your screens of other productions that have filmed right here in Courthouse Square. The building didn't have to get changed all that much until after Back to the Future. More of the changes have happened since prior. There's the future on your screens.
Yeah.
2015 Hill Valley, still right here on our left. You got to remember that most of the buildings on our back lot are not really buildings at all. Most of them are just facades. They might have all 4 walls, but a lot of the buildings do not have interior space. We don't waste our time building what the camera is not going to see. You might even be able to see through some of the windows as we pull forward on the left and right hand side. You'll see that there's not all that much happening inside of the buildings. Granted, if we are going to film a scene out here, we'll bring in a lot of props. We'll bring in set pieces, decorations to dress up the windows, to make them look like storefronts, to make them look like real businesses, coffee shops, what have you. We're leaving the small fictional town, and we're turning onto the biggest street of them all. This is New York Street. My co-host Jimmy Fallon is no stranger to New York. He hosts the Tonight Show there, so we'll check in with him, see what he's got to say about what it's like to work like this.
Hey everyone, welcome to New York. I got my start right here in New York on Saturday Night Live. This is actually my old neighborhood. I once got mugged over there by an old woman, tough lady. This is my favorite hot dog guy. Hey buddy, how's it going? Remember me? No. Just like old times. Gotta love New York City. Hey, I'm walking here. I'm walking here.
I'm walking
Hey, it's cool
here.
guys. I was just walking there. So it's not exactly New York, but a lot of times when you see New York in the movies, it was shot right here on the Universal Metro sets. If you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. Even if you make it here on the Universal lot.
And most of the time when you see our Metro sets in action, we are trying to trick you and make you believe that it is the big city. There's only a handful of productions that give away that secret. One of those shows is our competition series, American Ninja Warrior. If you've ever seen that on NBC or any one of our networks, they will do some of the Los Angeles rounds of the show simply from the Metro sets, and they tell you that on the episode. So that's one of the few shows that gives away the secret. To tell us about what we're going to experience next, here is Academy Award-winning director Peter Jackson.
It's the original King Kong that made me want to direct movies. I saw that movie on TV when I was about 8 or 9 years old, and I wanted to become a filmmaker.
Yeah, he's basically here to tell us that King Kong 360 3D is coming up very, very soon. So you don't have to put those 3D glasses on quite just yet, but I do want you to have those 3D glasses close by. We're going to be using them rather sooner rather than later. Right now is a good time just to secure any loose belongings. You'll want to remain in your seats from this point forward. We are returning to Skull Island.
It's a roller coaster. Did we just enter a roller coaster?
I'm hearing tracks.
What, is that us?
Okay, glasses on, everybody. We're back in Skull Island.
I'm getting wet.
Ladies and gentlemen, King Kong 360 3D.
Maybe we did get on a ride. I knew it.
That was one of the largest and most intense 3D experiences on the planet. Epic Battle was brought to you by Peter Jackson and the team at Weta FX, New Zealand-based company. Weta has won some Academy Awards in the past for working on films like Avatar, King Kong, The Lord of the Rings trilogy, The Hobbit trilogy, Guardians of the Galaxy. Basically any movie over 3 hours long, Weta has had a part in. The digital 3D screens inside, some of the largest in the world, standing over 40 feet tall, 180 feet long, and a total of 16 projectors help bring King Kong to life.
With a project like the studio tour, the audience is in the middle of the environment. They're looking in all directions, there's creatures coming at them, they're seeing Kong from this side and T-Rexes from the other side. Working on a movie, we always know people are looking. They're looking straight ahead, they're looking for shots that we're working on. Here you have to take into account that people are looking in all directions. Also, one of the things about this ride, unlike the movies that we're used to working on, there's no time. Because it's one giant shot, this tram that's driving along through space.
A picture car is just any vehicle that is seen on screen of a movie or a television show. We have some very realistic looking cars coming up on our left-hand side. These cars can look real. These cars aren't always as real as you might think. For example, towards the front of the row, we have the Ferrari 308 from Magnum PI. That is not a real Ferrari. It is just a Ferrari fiberglass shell on top of a dune buggy
Man, there
frame.
was a lot of back in the
We have
future.
picture cars from the future. Back to the Future Part 2. We have some prehistoric cars, some Flintstones vehicles. Those run on more than just foot power. They have little motors hidden inside. Of course, you gotta have picture cars from some of our biggest movie franchises. There's a picture car, a couple of them down here from the Jurassic series. I think you'll recognize that gyrosphere if you've seen the newer movies like Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. There was something missing. There's something missing from that gyrosphere you might remember from the movies. I'm talking about the glass, the sphere. You know, what makes it a gyrosphere?
To Jurassic Park.
It's here in this area. We store picture cars, some props, some smaller dinosaurs in their cages from the first 3 Jurassic Park movies. Take a look at this scene from the film's second in the franchise, The Lost World, Jurassic Park. This scene involves this mobile lab unit. You're going to see the same mobile lab vehicle over on our left-hand side. This mobile lab is built to be lightweight. It is mostly made out of plywood, so they can dangle it off the side of the cliff. We have the props and the dinosaurs out here in case we need them for future filming.
Oh, no.
You never know where some of those dinosaurs might show up.
T-Rex. That jaw looks broken.
Ew. Sorry about that, folks. We had no idea that was about to happen. No idea at all. That we might need for a certain production. We get the same boring sunshine day in, day out. It can be very frustrating to our directors. So we sometimes have to create our own weather right here on the back lot. We can have different types of weather happening in different areas, all at the same time, if need be. Well, right now John has brought us here to this part of the back lot that we call Old Mexico. We got it rigged up for a little weather demonstration. We're going to show you how we can create a thunderstorm at any time of day as we get all of the effects started. The strobe lights, we brought those out here for the lightning. The speakers, you can hear the sound effects, the thunder.
Oh no.
Now we're getting the water effects flowing on your left-hand side too. It's not too hard to create rain in Old Mexico. We have sprinklers hooked to the top of some of those telephone poles. It shoots the water into the air, and then it just falls back down to earth naturally. We do try and use a bigger raindrop than normal, so it has the best chance to appear on screen. You can be watching a sporting event, a football game, and the announcers will talk about how it's raining on the field, but on television it can be hard to see that appear. We got a bunch right for the tram.
Oh no, it's a river ride. Oh no.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, that flash flood was just the result of releasing thousands of gallons of water from up there at the top of the hill. We'll show you how that flood looks on camera. Used for the movie Big Fat Liar, starring Frankie Muniz, Amanda Bynes, and Paul Giamatti.
You can't outrun a wolf, kid!
Yeah, we'll see about that.
Why not? Hang on, funny folks!
We are crossing the border from Old Mexico. We are entering the Old West. This part of our lot is known as 6 Points, Texas. It has that name because during the heyday of the Western genre, there used to be 6 different Western streets out here, and they all came together at a central hub. So we named the place 6 Points, Texas. Yep, we're that creative here in the industry. 6 Points is one of the most historic spots you'll find on our back lot. We've been filming the Western genre for over 100 years, since the late 19-teens, the early 1920s. We still use the area to this day, every so often. It got used for Quentin Tarantino's latest movie, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, starring Brad Pitt and Leonardo DiCaprio. We had all 3 of those stars out here for the making of that movie. We've had one of our NBC shows, Quantum Leap. That's an old one that's been revived. It's back on the air. It's a show that involves time travel, so they film all over the studio lot. One of their episodes during season 1 takes them to the Old West. And of course, they film that episode here in 6 Points, Texas. So it gets its use from time to time. We do have to make a couple changes to the area when we film an authentic Western scene. The biggest change has to do with the ground. We cover up the concrete, the asphalt out here, with dirt. And when we're done, we take all that dirt away. We sweep it up. We take it out of 6 Points, Texas. We're trying to avoid days that are windy. We don't want dust blow. We don't want in those winter months mud being tracked all over the back lot either. So we only bring in the dirt when filming. It works out for us. That's a good way to know also if we are using the area, because if there is dirt on the ground in 6 Points, Texas, I guarantee you there is probably a camera pretty close by for filming. We have used the area for a long time for some classics. Might see some of you. By the way, folks, our tour is approximately hitting the halfway mark. Just wanted to remind everyone to stay seated. If you drop your phone, you need to use the restroom, pull the red cord to get my attention. I'll be back to assist as soon as it's safe to do so. Right now we are at the other end of our property. We are headed down to another part of the world. We're going to be driving through our Little Europe sets. Little Europe. We call it that because this area is normally dressed as a European city or country. This area was built in the 1920s for the Hunchback of Notre Dame. Then it got used for All Quiet on the Western Front. That was our very first Oscar winner for Best Picture in the year 1930. The decade of the 30s, this is where our famous monsters got their start. Guys like Frankenstein, Dracula, the Wolfman, the Invisible Man, the Mummy. Those old monster movies of the 30s and 40s, they loved to film their angry villagers scenes, among others, here in our Little Europe sets.
He's in the woods. Get out the bloodhounds. Raise all the men you can, lock the women indoors, and wait for me. Are you ready?
Huzzah!
Your torches and go!
Remember, when we're talking about these backlot sets, we're pretty much talking about just the exterior scenes. We've been filming interior scenes inside of sound stages since these days, and we just use these backlot locations for the exterior shots. Once again, you might be able to see through some of the windows that are not covered, and you can see how these buildings aren't so real from the inside looking out. We do use these sets again and again. You know, we don't...
Location, the afterlife, come on. I've never ever seen this. You're in the good place.
I'm not supposed to be here. I can't risk going to the bad place.
Well, maybe it's not all that bad.
Hi there. How can I help you?
What is the bad place like?
Well, it doesn't sound awesome.
The Good Place ran for 5 seasons. During that time, filmed interior scenes in our sound stages, filmed exterior scenes out here in Little Europe, among other places. They have filmed scenes in our Metro sets in the past, inside of that stage at the moment. So, taking a little detour, we're going to be heading around the corner and taking a little vacation to Amity Island here in a moment or two. In fact, we are on Denver Street right now, another area of our Western sets. There's a historical spot right over here on your left-hand side, up upon this hill that you can see behind some of the trucks and the buildings. This hill is the very first location we had a live audience here at Universal Studios. Our founder, Carl Laemmle, 100 years ago, had the dream, the vision, the idea of guests coming to the backlot, coming to the studio, seeing the behind the scenes of movie making, just like we're basically doing now. A little bit of different renditions over the years. In the early years, the 1920s, there were bleachers, grandstands built upon this hill first. And this is where we had our very first live audience members come in for the day. They could sit in the grandstands and they'd watch the Western scenes for movies being filmed down below. So a little historical spot right here on the Universal line. We are headed to Amity Island. There's nothing to worry about here these days. They finally caught that famous shark. You can see him hanging up over on the right-hand side of the harbor. In fact, there is a police diver in the water right now, just making a final sweep, making sure that everything is good to go. When they're done, they'll go ahead and take down the beach closed sign from out front. Everything will be squared away. Oh no, wait, do you guys see that? You can't see hardly because of the glare, but I think there might be another fin out there in the water right now.
I can see it.
Oh no, that fin is swimming over towards our diver. Hey, that's Tomas out there. Tomas, swim back towards the police boat. Get out of the water, Tomas. He's not listening. You all right, buddy? Oh, say something. You good? Guys, looks like Tomas.
He spilled his ketchup packet.
We better pull up and protect ourselves. Stay in your seats. We're going to pull up and hide behind these flammable gasoline tanks. Yeah, don't worry. Everyone knows gas is a great thing to hide behind, especially whenever danger is looming. I'm sure that we'll be safe here. I think the shark might have got a hold of the bait. Now it's eyes like yellow buoy. Oh no, this is not good. Who could have foreseen this? Did anybody keep their eye on the shark? I think I might see him on the other side. The filming with Bruce did not go as planned. The shark was a real problem. They took the shark out to film in the Atlantic Ocean. The salt water of the sea reacted differently, corroded a lot of the wiring inside. On the first day of filming, Bruce sank to the bottom of the Atlantic Sea. It prompted the crew to nickname the troubled production Flaws. It ended up delaying the release of the movie by over 150 days. Jaws was supposed to be a Christmas-time movie in 1974, but instead it was released in the summertime of 1975, which probably worked out a lot better. Now, Jaws was the first movie to make $100 million at the box office. That was a big deal in 1975. Nowadays, now it's all about the $billion mark with a B. Can your movie make $1 billion? We've had a few $1 billion. You just made Universal another $1 billion. You didn't even realize it. We're going to be heading through the residential section of our backlot next. We do have some homes. Nobody lives inside of them. The most real home we have is the one on the right. We call it the Chicken Ranch. I'll show you some examples of what it's been used for on your screens. The reason it is so real, it is because it does have an interior. It has a first floor. You can film both indoors and out. It's one of the few structures that can say that. If you look left, you'll see the entrance to one of our neighborhood streets. That is the old Wisteria Lane down there to our left-hand side. They're actually using Wisteria Lane a lot lately for a couple of different things. One of the things is Ted, our upcoming Peacock series streaming version of Ted. That's been filming on the old Wisteria Lane. If you watch a lot of Netflix shows, there's a Netflix series called Never Have I Ever, produced by Mindy Kaling. The 3rd season just got released. All 3 seasons have filmed scenes on Wisteria Lane. I shouldn't call it Wisteria Lane. Technically, we call it Colonial Street here on the backlot. That's just its average name, since it is an average suburban neighborhood. It was used before the housewives moved in. It's been used since the housewives moved out. But ABC's Desperate Housewives is the most famous thing to film in one of our neighborhoods here on the backlot. We've shown you a lot of those average locations so far that can be reused by a lot of different things. It's not always what the script calls for. We're going to show you some sets next that are rather unique, rather one of a kind. I think you'll be able to tell me what they have been used for. I think you'll recognize them fairly quickly once we see them. We've got a couple of the unique sets here coming up around the corner. In the meantime, we do have a couple more picture cars on display here on your right-hand side. If you are a Fast and Furious fan, a couple of these cars at the beginning and one here at the end have been used in the Fast and Furious movies. They got Fast 10, Fast X in theaters now. That's right, they've hit the double digits.
I haven't been recording.
A vision, Stephen. When we first began to sit down to talk about War of the World, I thought, what if the 747 goes down right in a big neighborhood? Because it's just something you don't see.
You're doing good. You're doing good. Keep your eyes on me. Listen, now listen. I want you to close your eyes, okay? Get them closed.
Oh my god, I gotta cry.
Robbie, get in. Get in.
Oh wait, I know this movie.
When they were putting together this scene out here, it took them 3 weeks to construct the set. It took them another week to film on it. In the movie, this scene's on screen for an entirety of just 4 minutes. All of that work for just 4 minutes of camera time in War of the Worlds. You see the neighborhood for more than that. You see it for more than 4 minutes. You see it at one point when everything is intact and nice and normal. Those scenes where you see the normal neighborhood in War of the Worlds, they're all filmed actually on location in a real neighborhood in New Jersey that the crew picked out, scouted out for filming. This is the only portion of the scene, the crash-landed 747 portion, about 4 minutes worth of camera time. We're approximately 10 minutes from the end of our tour. We will be returning to the theme park shortly. We've been able to talk about these different Academy Award winners, directors that we've been able to work with over the years. Our latest and greatest Academy Award winner, Mr. Jordan Peele.
Movie magic only happens when a team of collaborators, often in the hundreds, work together to take an impossible notion and bring it to life. This is Jupiter's Claim, a nostalgic, small-time Southern California amusement park owned by former child star Ricky Juke Park. Over there, look into the winking well and have your picture taken just like the kids in that old 90s movie Kid Sheriff. That's what this whole place is loosely based on. Remember that one? No? Life. A little further down, you can see the brand new Star Lasso experience. Built to showcase an unbelievable new live show. Oh, it's not looking so live anymore. Anyway, behind this Hollywood fantasy of a gold rush frontier town lies a sinister secret. It is smack dab in the center of the UFO hotspot.
So what now?
Welcome to the world.
This is no.
Guess we'll take a piece of Jordan Peele's advice and get out. But we are happy to have him as part of the Universal family, hopefully for a long time to come. We're going to be visiting another family. Stay in your seats. Our next stop is the Sullivan Truck Repair Warehouse. We've been invited to a party hosted by the Fast and Furious crew. Yeah, they've invited all 150 of us. They've added us to their family. It's very generous of them. We're going to take them up on this party offer. Now, the main part of the party is actually happening in the next room, but they asked us to hang out here first. They said they were going to brief us on the situation. Not too sure what that means, so I guess we'll find out from them.
I
think we're going to find out right about now.
My name is Roman Pierce. Pleased to meet you. My buddy Hobbs asked us to stash you in Shaw for a while. We brought you in our secret spot. We're having a few friends over. It's a little messy, but it's all good. The more the merrier. Especially you right there in the third row, like I was saying. So look, see over there? That's Hobbs' urban assault vehicle. Best truck the U.S. government can buy. That work of art back over there is made by my man Tej. Think of it as like a
what's that
Mona Lisa on wheels.
So did you break it down to them?
What's that?
You had one job to do, Roman. One. All right, look, guys. We're gonna keep Shaw from finding you, but to keep you safe, we need your help. We don't want the syndicate tracking us here. So put away your cameras and turn off your cell phones. One flash or one ringtone could give us away.
I need y'all to take this real serious.
Fredo, Letty, Roman, Hobbs, and John can get us out of here in one piece. At this time, go ahead, put those 3D glasses back on. I think things are getting a little furious from this point out.
This is our time.
Hell of a job, everybody. You protected the witness, and you can resume breathing.
You know it's crazy out there. You guys ride hard.
Hey, Mom. I was looking down and
messed up a little bit, but
I was still recording.
it's all good. We got
Oh well, the
Y'all held
audio,
us
my
down.
YouTube,
Appreciate it.
my vlog,
They say the
my
good of the
viewers
family
is
is
just gonna have to
strong.
imagine it.
You guys did good out there. And welcome to Join Our Crew anytime.
I don't know how to edit.
Woo, ladies and gentlemen, give yourselves a round of applause. You just survived the grand finale of the world-famous Universal Studio Tour.
Yeah.
On behalf of our driver, John, my name's Jonathan. For everyone here at NBC Universal, we hope you enjoyed your special look back at over 100 years of moments and memories. We have one last scenic view of the San Fernando Valley off to our right before we make it to our last and final stop, the unload area, to get you back into the theme park. When we disembark from the tram, there'll be big blue bins waiting for you. You can toss your 3D glasses in for us. There's also a board at the exit that shows you some of the wait times, the next show times for the shows and attractions here at the park today. You can download our app from the App Store, Google Play Store, that has all of that information as well. Character times, wait times, show times, information on visiting Super Nintendo World. So you can have the app downloaded to your smartphone, or you can check the board here on the way out for some of the immediate wait time information. Our park is open until 10 tonight, so plenty of time left to enjoy the rest of your evening. We're waiting for one last tram to exit out of the unload area so we can get you guys in there. We'll get you guys off this tram ASAP. But now that you've taken the studio tour, now that you're part of the history here at Universal, you can say that you've shared the same blue seats as, well, these famous people.
I've been on that tour so many times since I was a kid, and I just love it every time.
The first time I ever went on the Universal lot, we did the tour.
I grew up in Los Angeles, and that was like the place to go and see Jaws.
I got my introduction to Universal Studios through the tour, and so then to be in the movies and seeing the trams drive by, it's very overwhelming.
One of the coolest things actually about shooting for Universal
Wait,
is
is that
when you shoot
Ant-Man?
on the lot, and then you look over and it's like there's Jaws, or like here's the Flash Flood, and all those trams are riding around. It's the coolest thing ever.
1979. Back then, tram drivers were kind of a little reckless, a little crazy. There was no restriction on cars going anywhere. We used to drive all over and kind of duel with them back and forth.
I have so many amazing memories of the lot when we were shooting Back to the Future.
Being here brings me back in time, I'll tell you that.
When the tram would come through, the tourists would see Michael J. Fox, and they're taking a camera, snap, snap, snap. So one day, Michael J. Fox had his own camera, and every time the tourists came through snapping their pictures, he ran out and he started taking pictures of them.
In fact, we just celebrated our birthday here at the studio tour. July 15th, we turned 59 years old. We started the tour in 1964, the modern style tour, at least we call it modern, with a tram taking guests from location to location, from one location to the next, to the final location, here, the unload area, right here on your left-hand side. We've made it. As soon as we come to a complete stop and they pop your gates open for you, you are free to go. Enjoy the rest of your day here at Universal Studios Hollywood, the entertainment capital of LA. Goodbye, everybody.